Hi friends, you welcome to Sri Guru Raghavendra Banking Coaching Center. So, manam in this particular session, we are going to discuss reports and indexes. 2025 లో లైక్ మనకి ఏవైతే ఇంపార్టెంట్ రిపోర్ట్స్ ఇండెక్సెస్ ఉన్నాయో వాటిని డిస్కస్ చేయబోతున్నాం వన్ బై వన్. సో మనం జనరల్గా రెగ్యులర్గా ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో గ్లోబల్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ ఇండెక్స్ కానీ, గ్లోబల్ పీస్ ఇండెక్స్, గ్లోబల్ హంగర్ ఇండెక్స్, హ్యూమన్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇండెక్స్ ఇవి ఫ్రీక్వెంట్గా అడుగుతూ ఉంటాడు. సో వాటితో పాటు కొంత అంటే కొత్తగా ఉన్న వాటిని కూడా ఒకసారి డిస్కస్ చేస్తూ వెళ్దాం. Like first and foremost one, then we are focusing on so global innovation index. So first and foremost one, global innovation index. Innovation index. Generally, while we are discussing reports or indexes, we should be perfect with the organization which releases this particular one and the top country and the participated nations and a top nation, top country completed, and like India's rank, and then last country, the least performer. So these are the points then we are going to discuss in each and every index. So these are important for our examination in general. Global innovation index, innovation. సో ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ లైక్ కొత్త వాటిని కనుక్కోవడం, కొత్త వాటిని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడం, ఇలాంటి కాంటెక్స్ట్ అనమాట. గ్లోబల్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ ఇండెక్స్ జనరలీ రిలీజెస్ బై విపో, WIPO, వరల్డ్ ఇంటలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్. వరల్డ్ ఇంటలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్. వరల్డ్ ఇంటలెక్చువల్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్, that is WIPO. The total countries participated here 139 nations participated here. Is a participated nations 139, and the top country, the top nation is Switzerland. Switzerland occupied first position, a top position. Total countries participated 139, and India's position 38th position. Innovation index and the logistics index, innovation index and the logistics index, the world logistics index, same rank. India 38th rank. India got 38th rank. So nation which stood in last position, that is Niger, occupied 139th position. So innovation index is a general index, generally GII we call, global innovation index, GII we call. So the total participated nations are 139. GI. So coming with the countries which come up with the innovative ideas, like they which turn towards invention or discovery of new things. It may be related to the defense, it may be related to the satellites, it may be related to the electronics, whatever. So then any innovation is there, like innovative ideas, then if they come up with, certainly then they are ranked according to that. And the first position, top seeds, Switzerland, as we discussed, occupied first position. Switzerland occupied first position, and then Sweden occupied second position, and United States in third position. Be clear with this particular one. The top countries, top 3 nations are these: Switzerland, Sweden as well as US. Switzerland, Sweden as well as US, and the last position by the Niger. Already we discussed this one, and the next least one Angola, and the next one is Venezuela. India occupied 38th position. Those are thing we should remember. India's rank, then certainly then they'll ask 38th rank. India 38th rank. That is one. I'm moving to the next one. Yeah. So, World Press Freedom Index. World Press Freedom. Press Freedom Index 2025. Press Freedom. సో ఈ మనకి జర్నలిస్టులు ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో వాళ్ళకి ఎంత ఫ్రీడమ్ ఉంది చూసిన న్యూస్ని రాయడానికి, వినిన న్యూస్ రాయడానికి. సో అన్నదాన్ని బట్టి హౌ ఎక్స్టెంట్ దే ఆర్ ఫ్రీ టు రైట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ దే హ్యావ్ పర్సీవ్డ్. So based on that, this particular report is given and the countries are ranked according to that. And this particular one, index releases by Reporters Without Borders. Reporters Without Borders. Reporters Without Borders generally releases this particular index. And the total nations participates. Total nations in innovation index we come across 139 nations. Here it's 180 nations. 180 nations participate here. 180 nations. And the top nation is Norway. Top nation Norway. And Reporters Without Borders, Norway stood in first position. Global Press Freedom Index, దీన్నే మనం పత్రికా స్వేచ్ఛ అని పిలుస్తాం. పత్రికా స్వేచ్ఛ. సో ఇట్ రిలీజెస్ బై ద రిపోర్టర్స్ వితౌట్ బార్డర్స్. India's rank is important here. India's rank is 151. Press freedom wise 151 out of 180 nations. The last nation, the final, the last or least country, Eritrea, which occupied 180th position, the last country, Eritrea. So these generally then Scandinavian nations, these Scandinavian nations, they are very strong in this press freedom, human development and those. Norway occupied this position, first position. So press freedom, based on the how freedom is given or how liberty is given to the journalist to write whatever they have perceived, then based on that this particular index is projected. And like here India's rank, India's rank important in every index, that is 151st rank. And moving to the next one, that is World Happiness Index. World Happiness Index 2025. So here is important because some indexes then previous year or before previous year index is also introduced. That's why then we have to know the year as well. And this generally then this is releases by United Nations SDSN. United Nations Sustainable Development solutions network, sustainable development solutions network, SDSN, UN SDSN releases this particular report. The total countries participates in this particular one is 147, this year 147. Then it may change by year to year as well. That also then we have to focus. And the top nation is Finland. In World Press Freedom Index, Norway stood in first position. Global Innovation Index, Switzerland stood in first position. And Happiness Index, Finland stood at first position. And then India's position, India's rank, that is 118 rank. India occupied 118 rank. The last country, the country which placed last position is Afghanistan. Afghanistan, that is 147th position. 147th position. Afghanistan last position, that is 147th position. Happiness index, happiness, so PP, double P, double S, 118. Happiness index. India's rank is important, that is 118. In World Press Freedom Index, Press Freedom, India's rank is 151. In a Innovation Index or Logistics Index, its position is logistics wise, innovation and logistics, India's rank is 38. So World Happiness Index, important one, number of times asked one as well. So manam Santosha Suchi anta, it announces by UN SDSN, World Happiness Report. The speciality is that Finland is a consecutive 8th time it stood in first position. Consecutive 8th time it stood in first position. That is Finland. 8వ సారి ఇది ఫస్ట్ పొజిషన్లో ఉండడం. So under this particular index, the nation's growth or growth of the nation and corruption, the stage of corruption and self-satisfaction of the citizens. Based on these three of the citizens of a nation, the happiness index is provided. So then UN SDSN, particularly then Oxford University's Wellbeing Research Center, then work on this particular one. Oxford University's Wellbeing Research Center, then check this particular report. That's the point. India's rank very important, 118. So in the Press Freedom Index and World Happiness Index, India rank is more than 100. In World Press Freedom Index 151 and in Happiness Index it is a 118. Moving to the next one. and that is Global Gender Gap Report. Global Gender Gap. Gender Gap Report 2025. Gender Gap. So, male female difference, a variation. Gender Gap Report 2025. This is releases by World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum. The total nations participates here 148. Total nations participates here 148, and the top country is Iceland here. And India's rank 131, and the last country is Pakistan. Gender gap. Gender gap report, India's rank is 131st rank. 131st rank. In innovation index, India 38th rank, press freedom index 151, happiness index 118, and the global gender gap report, it's India's rank is 131. Out of 148 nations, 148th nation is Pakistan. Pakistan. Global gender gap report. So, which gives by World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum. So, total participating nations 148, India's rank is 131. So, like here they take parameters like the parameters to calculate this particular one, this particular index is the first and foremost one, economic partnership. Economic partnership of men and women, and then educational empowerment. So, how the female are treated equally with the men, educational wise, economic partnership wise, and a political empowerment. Political empowerment of women. Based on these three categories, these parameters, so then these are calculated. So, like this is the specialty of this particular index. Then if you observe, this is the 16th time. 16th time Iceland occupied first position. Occupied first position. 16th time. Not easy task. Not easy task. So, 16th time your Iceland occupied the first position. That is the context. Moving to the next one. The Climate Change Performance Index. Climate Change Performance Index 2025, and it releases by Climate Action Network. Climate Action Network of Europe. So, Climate Action Network, Europe based one, it is called a German watch. It's a German watchdog, the German watchdog, or a German based company, organization which gives the report, which gives this particular report. The total countries participated 60 nations, and no country occupied top position. Top position, first, second position, third positions, there is no country. fourth position occupied by Denmark. There is no country in the first three positions. And fifth position occupied by United Kingdom. Climate change performance. So climate change performance related to the environment. Climate change, వాతావరణానికి సంబంధించింది. అంటే వాతావరణ మార్పుల పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ గురించి ఇచ్చే రిపోర్ట్. So that is the context here. Climate change performance index, fourth position by the Denmark, and India occupied 10th position out of 60 nations. India occupied 10th positions out of 60 nations. We cannot say like this country is the least one. Several countries are in last position, 60th position. So like climate change performance index 2025, India's rank is 10th rank. ఇప్పటి వరకు చూసిన వాటిలో ఇదే లిస్ట్ కదా ఇండియాది. గ్లోబల్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ ఇండెక్స్ 38, వరల్డ్ ప్రెస్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఇండెక్స్ 151, అండ్ హ్యాపీనెస్ ఇండెక్స్ 180, గ్లోబల్ జెండర్ గ్యాప్ రిపోర్ట్ 131, and the climate change for action index, India's rank is 10th rank. That is one important one. India's rank 10th position. Moving to the next one, global peace index. Global peace index 2025. So this is generally then releases by the Institute for Economics and Peace. Institute for Economics and Peace. Economics and Peace. And then India's rank, if you observe, the total countries, then if you observe, total countries participated 163. And the top country is Iceland here. Iceland. So already we come across Iceland in global gender gap report. Global gender gap report also, Iceland is in first position, gender gap. Finland is in happiness index, top. So here like Iceland stood at top position, peace. So ఎంత శాంతియుతంగా కంట్రీస్ ఉన్నాయన్న దాన్ని బట్టి ఇస్తారు. Iceland is the world's the global peace most peaceful country. Total 163 nations. India's rank, if you observe, then India occupied 115th rank. 115th rank. మనకు కూడా ఉన్నాయి కదా బార్డర్ తోటి, చైనా బార్డర్ ఇష్యూ, పాకిస్తాన్, సో నేపాల్, ఇలాంటి శ్రీలంక బార్డర్ ఇష్యూస్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి కదా. సో 115th rank, India out of 163 nations. Last position occupied by Russia. That is 163rd position, 162nd position by the Ukraine. So India's rank important here we have 115. 115th rank. Next, moving to the next one, the firepower, global firepower index. Global firepower. So it releases by global firepower. Global firepower, and total nations participated is not clear. Like out of this, then only India rank is important here. India occupied 4th rank. India occupied 4th rank. Global firepower index. So like here, like if we come across these type of areas, certainly then we need to focus more and more on the concept. So certainly then they'll ask these type of questions. రెగ్యులర్గా కాకుండా కొన్నిసార్లు సందర్భాన్ని బట్టి క్వశ్చన్ అడిగే స్కోప్ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి లైక్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఫోకస్, వీ హ్యావ్ టు ప్లాన్ అకార్డింగ్ టు దట్. గ్లోబల్ ఫైర్ పవర్ ఇండెక్స్, global firepower index, India's rank is fourth rank. Global firepower index. So India's rank fourth rank. So like knowing India's rank is more than enough here. In 2025 is a 2025 index. India is ranked fourth in the global firepower index, and it's reflecting its reflecting its strong military capabilities and manpower, equipment wise, manpower, equipment and technology. In these areas, the firepower index, then the top position owned by so the military capabilities, manpower, equipment and technology wise, the top country is US in this global firepower index. US occupied first position and Russia is in second position and China is followed position. That is the point here. India's rank is fourth rank. Global firepower index. Moving to the next one. Most important one. Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals Index. Development Goals. Development Goals Index 2025. The specialty is that the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, were introduced in 2015. SDGs is introduced in 2015. So Sustainable Development Goals Index 2025. The specialty is that the 2025 year is the 10th year here. 10th year of the Sustainable Development Goals achievement, and then it releases by this index, Sustainable Development Goals index releases by SDSN. Already we discussed that World Happiness Index. World Happiness Index also gives by SDSN. So Sustainable Development Goals Index 2025, total countries participated, total countries 167 countries. Then the top country is Finland again, top country Finland, and in top country Finland is world first position in World Happiness Index as well. World Happiness Index as well, first position, Finland. That is the one. So here like India occupied 99th rank, 99th rank in Sustainable Development Goals. and the last position occupied by South Sudan. The last position occupied by South Sudan. There is one. 10th Sustainable Development Goals Index. So India's rank is 99. 99th rank. Moving to the next one, a global hunger index. Global hunger index. The previous one is global hunger index. Global hunger index is the previous year's one, 2024 one, global hunger index. The 24 one announced in 2025. And then this particular global hunger index has completed 20 years here. 20 years of introduction by 2025. It generally releases by the International Policy Research Organization. So, International Policy Research Organization generally gives this particular report. The total countries participated is 163. Global Hunger Index, the total countries participated 123, not 163, is 123. 123 nations participated. Global Hunger Index, 123 nations. The top country, that is Belarus. Top country in the sense here, the hunger-free nation. There is a meaning behind this one. Hunger-free nation. And the India's rank, then if you observe, that is 102. 102 is important one. And the last country is the important one, that is Somalia. Last country, the least one, Somalia. India's rank 102. Hunger index. Akali Suchi antam manadini. Akali Suchi antam. So important one, number of times asked one as well. India stood at 102nd position. That is the one. So here like the total countries participated 123. India's rank is 102. Top one is Belarus. So if a country say like first position in hunger index, we should not think the hunger is more in this particular one. Here like the top country in the sense without hunger. The more hunger is observed in Somalia. That is a point we should understand. Top country in the sense like the hunger-free state. Hunger-free state. Belarus. And the India's rank is 102, so anyway is important. So availability of the food and then poverty levels and those, then this particular index is calculated. Total nations are 123. Moving to the next one and the important one. Corruption Perception Index. Corruption Perception Index. సో ఇస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ద కరప్షన్ అంతే కదా, అవినీతికి సంబంధించింది కదా, అవినీతికి సంబంధించినది. ఇది కూడా 2024 రిపోర్ట్ అనమాట. సో ఇట్ రిలీజెస్ బై ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ ఇంటర్నేషనల్. Transparency International. And the total countries participated here 180 nations. Total countries participated 180. And the top country is a corruption free nation, that is Denmark. Top country in the sense corruption free. That is the meaning behind this one. And Denmark occupied first position. India occupied India occupied 96th position. Last country was South Sudan. South Sudan. South Sudan. It releases by Transparency International. Number of times asked on this one. Transparency International. India's rank in corruption 96. Corruption Perception Index. And the next one, Human Development Index. Human Development Index. Human Development Index, HDI we call. Manavabruddhi Suchi anta is the 2025th one. కానీ ఇది లాంగ్ బ్యాక్ ఇచ్చింది అనమాట, ఈ ఇయర్ది కాదు, అంటే ఈ అనౌన్స్ చేసింది ఈ ఇయరే, కానీ దిస్ ఇస్ అ ప్రీవియస్ వన్ అనమాట. ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ది ఇప్పుడు ఇచ్చారు, బిఫోర్ ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్, విచ్ రిలీజెస్ బై ద యుఎన్డిపి. UN releases by Human Development Index, releases by UNDP, United Nations Development Program. United Nations Development Program generally releases this particular report. So Human Development Index 2025 then releases by the United Nations Development Program. Total countries 193. Total UNO nations, member nations, all member nations of UNO participate here, and the top country is Iceland. Top country is Iceland. Like Iceland is top in human development index and global peace index. And then Iceland is in top in global gender gap report. Global gender gap. These three, Iceland occupied first position. Global gender gap reports, global peace index, and gender gap, global gender gap report. The Iceland occupied first position. Human Development Index. And then India's rank, if you observe, India is in and around 130th rank. Human Development Index, India's rank is 130th rank. And the last country, that is South Sudan. And in the United Nations Organization, UNO, the country joined recently, or country joined last, that is also South Sudan. The country joined last in United Nations Organization, UNO, that is South Sudan. Here as well, South Sudan last position in HDI, Human Development Index. India occupied 130th rank, 130th position. Moving to the next one, Human Development Index. In Human Development Index, the parameters they consider, parameters, health, education, life expectancy. ఆయుర్దాయం అంటాం కదా, లైఫ్ ఎక్స్పెక్టాన్సీ, ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అండ్ హెల్త్, వీటిని మేజర్ పారామీటర్స్గా తీసుకొని ఈ కంట్రీస్కి ర్యాంక్స్ ఇస్తారనమాట. ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్, the World Competitiveness Index. World Competitiveness Index. (2024). So, World Competitiveness Index, it generally releases by Institute for Management Development, Institute for Management Development, and the total countries participated 69. Total countries participated 69, and then the top country is the first position, Switzerland. And the next position occupied by the Singapore. Switzerland and Singapore. And India's rank in World Competitiveness Index, then if you observe, that is 39th rank. 39th rank, the nearby ranks are Global Innovation Index. India Global Innovation Index rank was ranked, then we discussed as 38. Innovation Index. Likewise, Global Innovation Index 38th rank, and Logistics Index. India occupied 38th rank. Nearby ranks, that's the reason that I have mentioned here. So, World Competitiveness Index, Institute for Management Development, పోటీతత్వం కదా, ప్రపంచ పోటీతత్వ సూచి అంటాం దీన్ని. ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఫర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ డెవలప్మెంట్, total countries 69 participated. India occupied 39th position, and the last position, that is 69th position, occupied by Venezuela. 69th position, World Competitiveness Index. That's the point. Moving to the next one. So, Artificial Intelligence Preparedness Index. Artificial Intelligence Preparedness. Artificial Intelligence Preparedness Index 2024. It releases by International Monetary Fund. The total countries participates here 174, and the first position, a top position occupied by, so Artificial Intelligence Preparedness Index, first position occupied by Singapore. Artificial Intelligence Preparedness Index. So, how the countries are making ready themselves to adopt artificial intelligence. Based on that, this particular rank is given. The total countries participated 174. India's rank, then if you observe, that is 72. India's rank 72. The last country, that is South Sudan. South Sudan, 174th nation. So, Artificial Intelligence Preparedness Index, India's rank is 72. India's rank is 72. Last nation is South Sudan. So, how the countries are ready to adopt this artificial intelligence? Based on that, this particular. So, India's rank 72nd rank. Moving to the next one. Next one is the important one. International Intellectual Property Index. International Intellectual Property Index. Intellectual Property Index 2024. Generally, then this one releases by US Chamber of Commerce. US Chamber of Commerce. The total countries participated here 55, and the top country is in intellectual property rights. USA is the top one. Innovation index is different, intellectual property rights are different. Intellectual property rights are nothing but these copyrights, royalties, trademarks. These are trademarks. These are considered as intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights. So, US Chambers of Commerce and India occupied 42nd position out of 55 nations. 42nd position out of 55 nations. That is a point. That is a one. And so India rank is important here. India rank is important here. The total countries participated 55. The India 42nd rank. International Intellectual Property Index. Next one, Global Human Capital Index. Global Human Capital Index 2021 is a not recent one, is a long back one. Human capital. Human capital is nothing but investing on human resources. human resources, like providing education, providing best education facilities, digital classes kind of things, and then these are best examples of human resources, human capital. Investing on the public to educate them and to improve their knowledge and XYZ. So here then this is releases by, this report gives by the World Bank. Human capital index gives by World Bank. Asked one, number of times asked one. The total nations participated, that is 174. The top country is Switzerland. Human capital wise top Switzerland. And if you observe India's rank, that is 116, 116th rank. Global human capital index. That is the one. And global human capital index, India's rank 116 out of 174 nation. And we are discussing one more, that is as of now we discussed international ones, one or two national wise as well we discussed. Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan. Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan 2025, then if you observe SVS, Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan. And then this introduces by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Ministry generally then releases this particular, gives this particular report. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Which report? Swachh Sarvekshan report. Swachh Sarvekshan report. Important one, number of times asked one as well. The Ministry of Environment and MOEFCC. The Bhupendra Yadav, present minister, concerning minister, Bhupendra Yadav, cabinet minister of this department, this particular ministry, Bhupendra Yadav. And here like this one if you observe, the pollution, the solid waste, and the construction waste, and general pollution, industrial pollution. Based on these categories, these particular parameters, emissions as well, how the emissions are more or not. Around 8 parameters are there on this one. Based on these 8 parameters, 130 cities are enumerated. 130 cities are enumerated. So out of these, like the population million and more. Million means 10 lakhs. The population million and more cities, the cities with more than million population, in this category, Indore stood at first position. Indore stood at first position. This was asked several times. And the second position occupied by Jabalpur, and the third position occupied by Agra, Surat. And Navi Mumbai occupied fourth position. Navi Mumbai. Kanpur occupied fifth position. Kanpur occupied fifth position, and Bhopal sixth position, and your New Delhi, it occupied 32nd position. Being a capital city, then it's occupied 32nd position. Bengaluru occupied 36th position. Kolkata occupied 38th, and Chennai occupied 41st position. And population category between 3 to 10 lakhs. This is a entire same list. Population 10 million and 10 million and more than million. If the population between 3 to 10 lakhs category, Amaravati of Maharashtra's Amaravati stood at first position, and less than 3 lakhs population. In this category, Devas of Madhya Pradesh occupied first position. This is a very important one. Certainly then there is a chance to get asked. So in population more than a million and a million or more than million category, Indore stood at first position. Jabalpur second position. And third one, Agra and Surat. There is a context here. And Navi Mumbai, fourth position. Kanpur fifth, sixth Bhopal, 32nd Delhi, and 36th Bengaluru, Kolkata 38th, Chennai 41st rank. That's the point here. Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, MP. Agra, Surat, Gujarat. Agra. So Agra and Surat both are in same context, same position. Agra in UP and Surat is in Gujarat. Fourth position. As a third position. These two areas in third position. Surat of Gujarat, Jabalpur of Madhya Pradesh, Indore of Indore, Madhya Pradesh anyways. Indore known one. Kanpur of Uttar Pradesh. Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So overall Madhya Pradesh even in 3 lakhs position as well, Madhya Pradesh dominated. So in Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan. That's a point. Moving to the next one. Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan. There is a chance to get asked this one. Indore. And the next one, then if you move Forbes billionaires context. Forbes billionaires. Forbes billionaires. Forbes billionaires list or report 2025. And it was announced in July. So July report of Forbes. Tesla company's head Elon Musk stood at first position, the top position, and India's Mukesh Ambani occupied 15th position. The world first position Elon Musk and India's Mukesh Ambani stood at 15th position, 1-5. That is one. And QS rankings, QS universities ranking 2025. This is also important one. Quacquarelli Simons. Quacquarelli Simons is the name of a person. Then on his name, this particular ranks are announced to the universities. Quacquarelli Simons then release this particular one. This belongs to London. Entity, then which announced recently a top 50 universities, ranks for top 50 universities in the world. So out of these 50, 9 Indian universities are there. 9 Indian universities. The first and foremost one, Indian School of Mines. Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad occupied 20th position out of 50 rankings. And IIT Bombay, IIT Bombay's engineering, electrical, electronics sections occupied 28th position. Total 9 Indian universities occupied top positions. IIT Kharagpur 45th position. And IIM Ahmedabad 27th position. In different business management category. IIT Kharagpur in a mineral mining category. So likewise 9 universities. And 7th position the Jawaharlal Nehru University and development studies it occupied 50th position, the last one, 50th rank. That is the part. So QS rankings. And if we move like the poorest countries in the world, if you observe, poorest countries in the world, if you have taken the list of poorest countries in the world, in this particular category, so South Sudan, the world's poorest country. The world's poorest country, South Sudan. South Sudan is the least one. The first position in the poorest countries list. Burundi is second position. Central African Republic, this occupied third position, and Malawi fourth position. Mozambique fifth position. These are the world's poorest countries. And then world's most attracting city, or most attracting city, or to the tourists and those, world's most attracting city, or worth seeing city in this particular list. And Paris stood at first position. This is the fourth time it stood in first position. Paris of France. And in second position, Madrid is a city located in Spain, which occupied second position. Madrid. Tokyo of Japan occupied third position. And India's Delhi occupied 74th position. 74th position India's Delhi occupied. So, attractive cities. So based on the economical business activities and tourism infrastructure, the tourism policies, based on this, around 98 countries are classified, cities are classified, and 98 plus nations, or total 100 nations notified. 98th position occupied by Jerusalem. Then is a controversial area in between Palestine and Israel. Jerusalem stood in 98th position. Last but one position. 98th position. 99th position occupied by 99th position occupied by th and 100th position, 2 positions. So Jerusalem occupied 98th position. Zhuhai of China occupied 99th position. 100th position occupied by the Cairo. Cairo, African city, So Cairo occupied 100th position. Cairo holds a last position. Cairo, Nairobi, 100th position. This is the way world's most attractive, worth seeing or attracting cities. Most attracting cities. Most attractive cities. Attractive. And like here, if you observe, so this is way how like this world's most attractive, worth seeing cities we discussed. Moving to the next one. Moving to the one more 21st one. Times higher education ranks. Times higher education ranks. Times higher education. Higher education ranks. Higher education ranks. Like for the year 24-25. Four Indian universities stood in top position. Times Higher Education World Rankings. It's announced in 2025. It's for the 24-25 financial year. IISC, Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore stood at first position, and IIT Delhi in Times Higher Education ranks IIT Delhi second position, and IIT Madras third position. Shiksha Anusandhan occupied fourth position. These are the areas like where then higher education ranks these are. So I repeat, IISc Bangalore first position, and then IIT Delhi second position, IIT Madras third position, and Shiksha Anusandhan, it is a private deemed university. Private deemed university belongs to Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Bhubaneswar occupied the fourth position. That is the context here. And Time magazine, so generally frequently asked question is Time magazine report 2025. So the world's prestigious magazine, this is a Times magazine with the top 100, Time magazine 100 most influential people, top 100 most influential people list, then it announced. Out of this particular report, so అంటే మనకి అత్యంత ప్రభావశీలమైన వ్యక్తులు అన్నమాట. So in this particular 2025 year, no Indian occupied any position under 100, below 100. So out of these, then Donald Trump occupied first position, and UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer occupied second position. Important this, so important international news wise. And Muhammad Yunus is occupied a special position. He is a Bangladesh active Prime Minister, or a temporary Prime Minister, we can say. Yeah, JD Vance US Vice President, and the Tesla CEO Elon Musk. These people occupied the below 100 most influential people list. And then if you observe a strong or most powerful army in the world, most powerful army, world's most powerful army, global firepower index, already we discussed this one. Firepower index, India's rank also we discussed. Power fire index, so India occupied 4th position, we discussed. Fire index generally then gives this particular report, index or report. And in this particular one, US occupied first position, most powerful army in the world, and second position occupied by Russia, and third position by China, and fourth position by India. Important one. That's a point. So as the most powerful army, India 4th position. These are some of the important reports for our examination. And then most of the important areas then I am showing here in a table. So try to focus on this. Already we discussed this, we come across this, but like I am highlighting this. Global Innovation Index, Publishing Organization WIPO. The total countries participated 139. A top rank occupied by Switzerland. India's rank 38. Global Innovation Index and the Global Logistics Index. India rank is 38 only. The Niger occupied 139th position. World Press Freedom Index published by Reporters Without Borders, with a total 180 nations. Norway occupied first position, and Eritrea the last country, 180th nation. India's position is 151. Happiness Report, United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network released this particular one for total 147 nations. Finland occupied first position. India's rank is 118. Afghanistan last position. So happiness report, gender gap report, press freedom index, so innovation index, these are very important. Global peace index as well. So climate change performance index, then a global gender gap report, if you observe, World Economic Forum, WEF, releases this one. For total 148 nations, India occupied 131st position. Global Gender Gap Report. Iceland in first position, Afghanistan last position. You can observe this in these four indexes, European countries occupied first position. Switzerland, Norway, Finland and Iceland, these occupied first position. And climate change performance index wise, Denmark no first, second, third positions. Denmark directly fourth position. Denmark occupied fourth position. UK occupied fifth position. India's rank is 10th rank. In peace index, India occupied 115th rank. Global freedom wise, freedom index, India occupied 45th rank. Education quality index wise, SDSN, India occupied 99th rank. Education quality wise. And global hunger index, important one, hunger index, India occupied 102. This was asked out of 123 nations, which gives by International Food Policy Research, and the last position by South Sudan. The poorest country, then we discussed South Sudan, the poorest and last nation, and even human development wise last nation South Sudan, and the corruption wise nation South Sudan, corruption perception wise top nation South Sudan. Artificial intellectual property index, then that is US Chambers of Commerce gives, total nations 55, America first position, India occupied 42nd position. Terrorism wise, global terrorism index, Institute for Economics and Peace, India occupied 14th position in this one. Human capital wise, India occupied 116th position out of 174 nations. So corruption perception wise, India 96th position. Corruption perception index out of 180 nations. Denmark occupied first position. These are the list of different indexes for us we have. And like global multidimensional poverty index. So multidimensional poverty index, we cannot say a particular nation's rank. Total participated countries are 109. Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, OPHI, gives this particular report regularly. Global multi-dimensional poverty index. The India's context, then if you observe under this particular multi-dimensional poverty index, so here like the MPI, multi-poverty index, multi-dimensional poverty index of 0.069 reflects a head count ratio of 16.4%, meaning that about 16 out of every 100 Indians experiencing multi-dimensional poverty related to health, nutrition, education, all this together, multi-dimensional poverty. So the meaning is that every 16 out of 100 are facing this multi-dimensional poverty. Particularly the states like Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh still have higher MPI values, showing deeper deprivations. In contrast with these states, the Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Goa performing far better with very low poverty intensity and higher educational attainments. The top countries, states Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Goa, they are showing good results under MPI, multi-dimensional poverty index. The positive ones. Negative turn, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Kerala will become the first Indian state officially declared from extreme poverty. It's free from extreme poverty. And the Extreme Poverty Eradication Program launched in 2021 and identified extremely poor families through the detailed surveys assessing deprivation in food, health, livelihood and shelter. That is the context here we have. So here like eradication program, the extreme poverty eradication program launched in officially in 2021 identified in a 64,006 extremely poor families through detailed surveys assessing deprivation in food, health, livelihood and shelter. So following this, micro plans were prepared for each family, ensuring access to essentials like housing, land, documents, etc. That's a special thing. So then be clear with this particular area, index and report. Each and every examination, whatever the exam, you have a chance to get one question from here. So like then if you are strong enough, certainly then 1 mark will be yours. Okay, that is the context here. These are this is the information all about then our reports and indexes. Then keep watching these videos, subscribe and like them if you are comfortable with. So then we will meet in the next context with the continuation. Okay, thank you and all the best.